Hello quilting friends, I'm Barbara Radzavikas and I'm the Bondi Crafter. In this episode, this is part 4 of Quilting in My Lap, how you can quilt in your lap. I'm showing two parts of this part. The first is how to quilt on the table, so how you can hand quilt with your quilt on the table but still in your lap, which is interesting. Especially for the warmer weather. And the second part is using a fabric template to hand quilt in your lap. So hope you enjoy this this particular episode. This morning I thought I would just show a different spin that I have on my lap quilting. I don't always quilt in my lap, especially when the weather's getting warmer. I sometimes put the biggest pile of it on a footstool in front of me or on a chair. In this case, it's on the table. And I'll just turn the camera down a bit so that we can see how this works. So I have the main part on the table. I'm quilting here at the moment. And we're just doing the grid pattern. I've just started just here, and this is a center block. So I am sitting on the side of the table, and I might just put the camera back just a little bit so you can see how it works. So I'm just sitting back a bit. I have the most part of the quilt on the table. I just have a small part in my lap, and I've got the sticky tape all up and ready to go, and I have already done some, as we can see, and I'm just ready to go under her arm. It did take me a few minutes. Took me a few minutes to find my needle, then thread the needle, which was a big pill this morning. I don't know what's happening. I think my fingers are going a bit. But anyway, needle threaded and ready to go. So this is lap quilting on the table. So, untie my few stitches. Quilting this way is also not as warm. This is the 4th of August today in Sydney, Australia, and last night was unseasonably warm. It was like 18 degrees at night, that's Celsius, and I thought I was I thought I was sick. You know how it is when you have really hot nights when you're not expecting it. You have a pile of blankets and the feather quilt on and you get so hot. Well, that's what happened, and I thought I was sick and having a fever, but woke up this morning and found out it was a hot night. So yeah, that was, I won't say interesting, I will say, I don't know really, unseasonal. But anyway, it's okay now. And so you see, quilting it this way is as easy as quilting in your lap. If you don't want to have it all bunched up in your lap, you can have it bunched up on the table. Well, it's not actually bunched up, it's spread out, and I only have the amount that I want to quilt in my actual hand. The thing is with quilting this pattern, there are short rows and there's long rows. So this could be an easier way of doing, you know, on the table if you have a lot of long and short rows, although it doesn't really matter to me because I've been, you know, doing it for so long and it doesn't, I do it anyway. And so it's easy just to swivel the quilt round and go in the other direction. So I've been going down this way, now turn the quilt and we're going back this way. I still have in this row, I still have to go down here, but I'm just doing this small section here back and forward because it's easy, you know, you don't have any long carry threads in the quilt to deal with, or, you know, stopping and starting. You just go under the tape and start again. And so, yes, going through a few layers there. You know, it's still really warm this morning, and there have been storms off the coast last night, early this morning, and John looked at the radar on his phone, and there's storms coming over the mountains this morning. So these are winter storms. I imagine it's going to snow in the mountains pretty soon. Usually does in August. It snows up at his shed. And so let me know what you think about lap quilting on the table. Still no frame, no hoop. Just sewing away. So I would sew like, I would do this amount of quilting. I would do, let's say, 45. I'd do about 45 minutes, you know, of quilting. Then I would hop up, go for a walk, have a look, see what's happening outside, have a cup of tea. Just fiddle around, but you can't sit still for too long. When I do sewing on the sewing machine, I put on a DVD because I know the length of the DVD is, you know, the max time. Also, CDs are really handy when you're on the machine. It's about 45 minutes for each CD to play, and then you know it's time to move. But yeah, you have to move. I forget sometimes, I've got to say. I forget and like go for hours. My quilt, my red and white quilt, the Grandmother's Flower Garden, you've seen it in a previous episode. That was 800 hours of handwork. 800 hours. I still can't believe it. And I used to forget to get up. And so I would start at like 7 o'clock, maybe 6:30 in the morning, and go till about 8 o'clock at night. I did get up for lunch, dinner maybe. But, you know, I had a comfy chair, and I don't know, obsessed woman. I just used to barrel on. But now I think, especially now it's getting warmer, I have to get up. So this is what I've done so far. So you can see I'm going in the opposite direction now. This is a lovely pattern. It's a sisterhood pattern. It was a fundraiser. Someone in Canada had it as a fundraiser for International Women's Week, I think, Women's Week. Maybe 2016. I remember I had it for a long time, and then I made it up. It's just so beautiful. And, you know, I made it to represent friends, fabrics I love. It really, all the fabrics in the dresses are different. I've probably said this before, but as all the fabrics are different, it's like a memory quilt also. So I have a documentation of fabrics that I've had in a particular period of time, and there is only 2 girls that have the same dress on in this quilt, and they're my twins. I thought, oh, I've got to have twins. Here they are. And they're lovely little girls. We have twins in our family, but a boy and a girl. Obviously, this isn't them. But the idea of twins, everyone has to have twins. So I didn't have triplets. But yeah, as they're all different, it's like I do have memories of when I purchased them, when I went shopping, what I was doing with friends, when I bought the facet fabrics online mainly. I did get a few from my local quilt shop. Obviously not as big a wider range as, you know, the online shops, but all the same, still nice. And also my best friend Judith gives me fabrics, which I love. She gives me a lot of fabric. I don't collect my collection of fabric, my stash, let's say. It's not a huge stash. It is it's made up of a wide range. So when I buy fabrics, I buy like 30 centimeters max. 30 centimeters max is a nice amount, you know, because I make scrap quilts. These are scrap quilts. They're made up of little pieces of fabric, and they're known as scrap quilts. Even my grandmother's flower gardens are scrap quilts, really, because they're all different little pieces of fabric. And I could be a magpie, I guess, because I collect. And I collect fabrics that are, you know, the colours that particularly appeal to my eye are the ones that I collect. Also, I collect black and whites, white and blacks. Yeah, but the fabrics you collect, I think, are the ones that, you know, appeal to your eye. So if you like warm colours, you will collect that range of more of those fabrics. And if you like cool colours, you will collect those. If you like every colour, you would collect eclectic colours. You know, you would just have a nice range of everything. I don't have a big range of everything. I have only a few pinks and yellows in my collection. I don't know why. And then I had to make a quilt for a little girl, and I had to go out and purchase all these 20 centimetre pieces of pinks. So I went to the local quilt shop and I bought just about every pink that they had, just 20 centimetres of it. And it wasn't expensive because you get 5 20-centimetre pieces to a metre. And so I bought like, I don't know, I would have got about 15 different pinks. And that was only like 2.5 meters, you know, of fabric. And that was reasonable. And I also have pinks left over. So if anyone wants to swap, you know, pinks or anything, I have a few pinks. But yeah, it's interesting the colours that we choose. And it depends on how you're feeling at the time, I think. These quilts, the ones I did in the beginning of lockdown, this one, the 3 trip around the worlds in Cave Facet fabrics, the green that I'm doing at the moment, a red and a blue. You know, it all depends on how you're feeling, what you've got. At the beginning, I thought, I need to use my facet fabrics. They were beautiful. And, you know, I just want to use them. So I made a conscious decision, this is what I'm going to do. And I made 3 quilts out of 3 big quilts. I'm very happy. I still have a lot left over, small pieces, but, you know, it's so fun. I think fabrics are just paints, you know. They're the paints that we use to paint in textiles. We're fibre artists. And it's just lovely, you know. You can just do it by yourself. We can do it with a friend. It's very meditative. Yeah, I can just sit here and do whatever patterns you like, what colours you like to stitch with. Yeah, slowly getting through the queue. of hand quilts. I will take, in an episode or two in the future, I will go over to Judith and use her Sweet 16. I have got a couple of quilts lined up for machine quilting too. So definitely do that. And I'll also take a video of Judith machine quilting, because her machine quilting is so much better than mine. She takes more time. She thinks about the patterns more, the quilting patterns. I went to visit her earlier yesterday, and I'm including that in this one, this podcast. Yeah, I'll take a video of her quilting, because it's just unreal. I love going over there to just hang out, talk about fabrics, talk about quilting, talk about projects. It's really nice. So, you know, it's anything you want it to be. So I'm changing from straight line quilting now with the sticky tape to this template that I made with some off-cut calico. I made the circle template because it's flexible, and I just pin it on and it doesn't leave any marks or anything. And I just need to hold the 3 layers together with my thumb and fingers, and still be able to feel the needle coming through to the back with my middle finger. And do small running stitches around the edge of the circle. This pattern is quilt around the world, trip around the world. This is a small circle that I've put in the middle of the square. I usually take a couple of stitches each time, just small running stitches, just to make sure that I don't make any funny shapes on the side of the circle. And for this quilt, I'm just going to have the straight lines and these two circles that I made before, this small one and a bigger one, and I'm just going to place them, you know, randomly and quilt around them. Even going through multiple layers, as long as you've got a strong, very thin needle, it's okay, you know. I don't even use a thimble. I probably should, but I don't. So I've just changed the position of the quilt just to make going around the circle easier. Halfway there. I have to say that I can only do lap quilting in winter, autumn, and halfway through spring, because here in Australia the humidity is just like 100%, and I just can't, you know, it's just too hot to have all these layers in your lap. But I don't know that many people would make quilts this traditional way in high summer anyway. It's just too hot. This is why I've got a pile up of quilts waiting in the queue to be quilted, and I need to get a shuffle on because this is the middle of August. Okay, nearly there. I've put a needle, sorry, a pin where I'm going to end. Have to be careful you don't get pinned with one of the pins. This is where I started with a double stitch. Just got to go to there. I've got this much thread left. I measured the thread just because I don't want to waste thread before I started with the circle. Now I've got the needle positioned like that, but before I do any more, I'm going to take the pins out of the template, take it off. You can see how really nice and neat the circle is and how easy it is to do. Now I'll just turn the quilt over and I'll show you how I finish off. I'm at the back now and I'm just about to finish off with the last stitch. And as you can see, this fabric is excellent for camouflaging all stitches, any mistakes, anything, you know. That's why I like busy backgrounds. And this is how I finish off. I just take a loop through the last stitch, take it through where the knot is, and go about an inch or 2.5 inches, pull it through and give it a bit of a tug so that it lays flush. Trim it off, and there's no knots. I really like this way of ending off. That's me signing off for this episode. Let me know what you think about quilting your lap on the table or using fabric templates. You can use any shape with fabric templates. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Please like and subscribe if you like my videos. It particularly helps my channel, and you can see I'm eager. But yeah, I just love getting you know, feedback if you're interested, and I'm always here. Okay, that's it for me. Signing off. Bye.